FIFA 23 has been out for 5 months now, and you know what that means? Content drought. So like any good creator, I'm going to be recycling old FIFA content via tier list. So how am I going to rank these FIFA games fairly and objectively? Well, I'm not. I'm a FIFA player. Corruption runs in my veins. Literally, it's in the name. For legal reasons, this is a joke. But as the corruptible man that I am, I like nostalgia, and honestly, that's going to play a role in these rankings. So if that annoys you, let me know in the comments because that's good for the YouTube algorithm. FIFA 9, 10, 11. While I have played these games, I was far too young to have any real memories to make a judgment now. In fact, the only memories I do have is selling a special Urzel for a few hundred coins because normal cards look the same as specials back then. So as much as I meme on the colours of Ultimate Team now, they would have saved 10-year-old me from a lot of tears. Also, I remember being sacked from my manager career mode for being 30 million in debt. Yes, back then you could go into negative balance, and if you stayed negative for 2 windows, you'd get sacked. So not great memories. That being said, I did have a lot of fun, and these taught me the harsh realities of life and were great for character development. FIFA 12. This is where nostalgia and my personal bias is really going to play a factor, as FIFA 12 is when I truly became a sweaty gamer. And FIFA 12 was a great gateway game for that. On FUT, like most of the early Ultimate Teams, every rating of card was viable, making the game mode very accessible. On top of that, the game was fairly simple, as finesse shots were ridiculously OP, as well as the odd skill move. Now, is this great game design? No, but it made for a lot of fun for my developing teenage brain. Solid. FIFA 13, basically FIFA 12 but better. Gameplay wise, finesse shots were nerfed and the pace meta was arguably strongest here. That said, squad building in FUT was in my opinion the most fun here, as so many cards from bronze to gold were incredibly viable. I mean, look at me, I'm Asian. Frankly, we suck on FIFA. But like I said, FIFA 13 was all about that inclusivity. As long as you were quick. Speaking of inclusivity, I would love to formally include you as one of my subscribers. All you have to do is press that subscribe button. Shameless prompt aside, back to FIFA 13. Banger. FIFA 14. Admittedly, I missed out a large portion of FIFA 14 as, tragically, my PS3 was stolen. By my brother. Although technically it was his, but either way it was taken away for most of the year. But that didn't stop me from playing far too much FIFA when I could. In this iteration, heading was the meta. Yes, heading. The mechanic that has been completely butchered since FIFA 20. Yet that thing was once OP. In Ultimate Team, this is where ratings started to matter, as low rated teams were beginning to fade out. They were okay, but it was best to use a gold team. So for that, I'm going to be putting it in low solid. FIFA 15. If you want to see my thoughts on FIFA 15, check out this video. Otherwise, long story short, nah. FIFA 16. As I mentioned before, I am corruptible, and this is perhaps my favourite FIFA, so nostalgia is fully cranked up here. Whilst there were only a few quality of life changes from the previous iterations, I simply had the most fun with this FIFA. Pro Clubs had become my top game mode at this point, and this was the last FIFA that utilised the accomplishment based system, meaning to improve your player you would have to do set challenges. Some of these were incredibly hard to do, and were frankly kind of bullshit, which led to a lot of boosting. Yes, there were boosters in FIFA, but compared to the mind-numbingly boring level up, play 1,000 game system we have today, it was something I definitely took for granted. Outside of Pro Clubs, this was the last FIFA before FUT Champs, which is probably a bad thing, but FUT Champs is what pushed me away from Ultimate Team in recent years, so my nostalgia is going to let this slide. Also, FUT Draft was an excellent addition. Banger. FIFA 17. FIFA 17 is perhaps the most revolutionary game we've had in a very long time. FUT Champs was introduced, the aforementioned Pro Clubs overhaul took place, the journey was brought in, and the controversial Frostbite engine. First, let's start with the journey. I didn't play it. As I mentioned, FUT Champs and Pro Clubs, I personally didn't like the changes, but I can see how many others could. Gameplay wise, this was the beginning of the Frostbite era, and frankly, a lot of people do point to this moment as being the downfall of FIFA. While I did prefer FIFA 16 gameplay, I honestly did still have a lot of fun on FIFA 17. You might have noticed that I haven't talked about career mode much, or at all, but like Pro Clubs, there have been very minimal changes between games. So while I do really like career mode, I don't really see much purpose in pointing out the changes, as stuff like training and having a preset manager face, I don't really care about. Overall though, I'll give this game a high solid for all the innovations it brought in. FIFA 18. Did anything actually change? I guess journey was updated, quick subs and transfer cutscenes. The gameplay was good, but fundamentally nothing changed. To be honest, this just felt like FIFA 17 2.0. So I can't really say it's a good game nor a bad game, so I'll just put it in there. FIFA 19. FIFA 19 introduced timed finishing and various kickoff modes, most notably house rules. Whilst this was exclusive to kickoff, therefore limiting the player base, playing this with friends in person embodied what FIFA should be about. Fun. Not a gambling simulator predatorily targeting minors, but fun, playing with friends and having a laugh. Oh, friend! On top of this, timed finishing was the major gameplay innovation, and it's actually pretty good. I personally don't use it because I suck, but I appreciate the skill gap it introduced, as it epitomized high risk, high reward gameplay. Are you a GigaChat green timed finisher? Well great, you're gonna finish most of your chances, and if you're a red timer, then your shots are gonna be moving like Werner. I mean, Nunes.
That's a ball for Nunez, and he takes it. And scores for Liverpool. Darwin Nunes.
I mean, Vicstar. Solid. FIFA 20. Volta anyone? No one plays Volta? Okay. FIFA 20 made changes to the penalty and free kick systems, but for the most part, nothing really changed. Honestly, the last few FIFAs just felt like FIFA 17 part 1, 2 and 3. Meh. FIFA 21. Again, like what even happened in this FIFA?
Has identified the cause of the mysterious new virus, coronavirus.
Okay, fair enough. Meh. FIFA 22. It's trash. Absolute trash. Okay, maybe not complete trash, more like recycling. I started YouTube during FIFA 22, and so for that I'll give some sentimental points. On top of that, career mode received a big upgrade in Creator Club, though to balance it out, they made every owner a hybrid between Roman Abramovich and Alan Sugar, so you'd get sacked pretty much every season. FIFA 22 Pro Clubs also received an overhaul. What's that? Oh yeah, that game mode starved of content? Yeah, that's Pro Clubs in case you forgot, because EA seemed to have forgotten. I digress. EA somehow completely drop-in matches, as EA forgot to add the cancel button when searching for matches, forcing you into matchmaking. A matchmaking system that was so broken that it would either fail or place you in a 5v1 or a 1v5. For those unfamiliar with drop-ins prior to FIFA 22, it was simply a 5v5 lobby where you could see and speak to all the players and select which team you wanted to join. On top of this, it would take around 500 to 1000 games to max level your player. Like, seriously, who the f greenlit this? As you may be able to tell, I am very passionate about this topic. Now, I haven't spoken on gameplay for the last few FIFAs, and that's because they were all mostly the same, with a little decline. FIFA 22, however, was pretty bad, as randomness and luck and simply just utter BS was at an all-time high. So, all in all, trash. And finally, we have FIFA 23. Now, FIFA 23 had a controversial start as the gameplay received a massive overhaul. If you want to learn why it was so problematic, watch this video. But to put it shortly, tall slow players good, short fast players bad. Realism go brrr. Whether you were a fan of this change or not, it was undeniably a breath of fresh air, as gameplay like this had never been seen before. Personally, I very much dislike this new style, not as much as for the shift in meta, but because far too much value was placed on stats. Due to the improved realism, random events such as players making simple mistakes drastically increased. This wasn't too much of an issue if your players were higher rated though, like in Ultimate Team, but other game modes were frankly unplayable. But all of that was a few months ago. EA reverted back to the old short meta player gameplay due to the large amount of backlash. And to be honest, I don't know if this was a good or bad decision. The community seemed to be split fairly evenly on whether they liked the gameplay, but regardless on which side of the fence you sat, you have to respect EA trying something completely new. Like I said, I disliked the old gameplay, but there were still some aspects I liked. So hopefully they can learn from this and improve the gameplay for EA Sports FC 24. Oh, you haven't heard? There's no FIFA 24. Solid. And that's my corruptible nostalgia based tier list. Let me know what you think of it down below, as well as what your favourite FIFA is. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day, and bye bye.